Greetings everyone, this is F.O.N, your top tier tips, and I welcome you to your prime spot for tips and tricks to help you level up in DOA6. Alright, in our last session we took a look at risk versus reward. In this session we're going to be looking at having a bit of a continuation of that, and we'll be looking at Abare. What Abare is a Japanese term for attacking when the opponent thinks that you're weak. So in fighting game terms this means attacking from disadvantage or attacking from negative frames. To put things in perspective, you generally don't want to do something in DOA6 that leaves you at -8 or worse, such as Ayane's like 236k here. I left myself at -13. This will leave you open to guaranteed throw punishment with like a 7-frame throw, for instance. What you actually want to do is to do stuff that aside from stuff that obviously leaves you at advantage, is stuff that leaves you at like -7 or greater. So I mean, it's even better if it's like -2, -3, -1, that kind of stuff. Because you basically cannot be guaranteed throw punish for that, because 7-frame throws cannot start to guarantee throw punish stuff until -8 or worse. So the worst that can happen if you're like -6 or -7 is you can get neutral throws, but those can be broken with the throw button, and in general, neutral throws are not even really that threat. Alright, so when you do leave yourself at somewhat like negative, or at even like -7 with something like Ayane's forward punch kick, your Abare of choice will be 2P. Alright, these moves are usually your fastest slow. Like with Ayane, it's 12 frames. They're -4 on block. Ayane's is on +0 on hit. Most 2Ps are either going to be 0, -1, or +1. They can like vary like that. So 2Ps generally like a very safe option to be able to use. Alright, and also of course they beat out high attacks really well, and if they cannot connect on counter hit, they leave you at +5 plus some like pushback. So yeah, 2Ps really safe option. Their number 2 Abare move, and honestly these two can almost be kind of like interchangeable, is your jab. As you see right here with Ayane, her jab is -1 on block. It's neutral on normal hits. So this is like a very safe option. Like with pretty much almost any character, except maybe Elliot, Neo Tengu, or like Bass, for example, your jab is going to be your fastest move. So if you want a fast option to toss out, it's always going to be your jab. So even though I know with -7 it's a little harder to Abare with it's a little harder to Abare with -7, I admit. But let's say if you were, for instance, at like -3 or -4 or like -2, -1, then a jab would be a good Abare if you think your opponent's going to try and retaliate with a mid, like an elbow or something like that. Because under most circumstances, if you're at like really light negative, so -3 or greater, then jabs are really good if you think the opponent's going to try and elbow you. And if you think the opponent's going to use a high, then you use your 2P. However, for Abare, you generally can't really use your mids because of the fact that they're going to be too slow, and if the opponent either does like a jab or a mid of their own, they will beat you out. Alright, let's say for instance that you know that your opponent's going to retaliate with highs after you leave yourself at light negative or unpunishable negative. Then you can, if you know they're going to go for highs, then you can always go for a high crush. Something like Ayane's 1P or 2H plus K, these moves never lose to high attacks. I mean, they beat out high attacks 100%. So if you know your opponent's going to retaliate with like jabs or highs, then you can always go for those type of moves. But let's take a look at another instance right now. For example, something like Ayane's 4H plus K, 4H plus K or back guard plus kick, it leaves her at -8, but it pushes back so far that you basically cannot really be thrown by anything. Or you definitely cannot be guaranteed throw punish for it. You basically can't be punished at all for doing this move despite being at -8. So in this instance, the opponent might try, well, it is technically going to be their turn. I mean, you're at -8, so they'll probably do some buttons. But that is also a good opportunity to try and Abare due to the pushback of that move. So a recommended move, like if you were to do it with Ayane or any character, is look for a good high crush launcher. For Ayane, it's 4P, the Ayane bit slap right here. So this move, if you hit the move on counter hit, you can end up setting like a pretty big juggle with that. For instance, I mean, you don't always get to knock someone into the tank, but you kind of get the idea. When you beat out an attack, most commonly like a high or like any attack at all, then your high crush launcher will launch the opponent. Like most of them do tend to be on counter hit. Some of them, like Ayane's 8K, also can launch on normal hit. But the general idea though is this is a move that you want the opponent to fear. Like, the opponent does not want to keep getting hit by 4P because it will just annoy the hell out of them, and it will make them think twice about how they go about pressuring you after certain negative frames. A big thing when you are deciding to employ Abare on your opponent, the main purpose of doing this is to try and keep from being completely predictable and orthodox. I mean, the whole kind of like push buttons, for instance, when positive kind of stuff, and like don't push buttons when negative. If you're always do that, then the opponent's always gonna like start throwing you. Maybe try and sneak in like bigger throws that they know, because as you can guess, this is Abare is added to the overall mind game of Dead or Alive 6, or just kind of like 3D fighters or fighting games in general. The main reason why you Abare the opponent to let you know that, okay, I left myself at negative, but I'm not going to let you just do whatever you want against me, for instance. So basically, I'm going to keep you on your toes, and as long as I'm doing stuff that's not unsafe, you can't guarantee punish me. So that means you have to guess like what response to do. I mean, the person at positive frames, they're still in control, but that doesn't mean that they can do like whatever you want. So Abaring is good to make sure that the opponent's like paying attention to what you may try and do to them. And as you could probably guess, crush moves are really good for Abare, or even stuff with like some evasive properties or stuff like that. I want you to keep something in mind with regards to Abaring and like when you're going to be in the Abare mindset. Generally speaking, it's the player that's at the life deficit that is the one that's should be Abaring more often than the player that has the life lead. For instance, if you're the player with the life lead, then number one, you're never obligated to have to go in on the opponent, so you can basically kind of hang back if you want. And number two, you should be focusing on just playing safe fundamental plays, so essentially not really overextended, not really like doing stuff that's like easily punishable or anything like that. Like you can take it easily, because it's the opponent that's pressured to have to come into you. Because basically, the player with the life deficit is the one who has to go in. They're the one that has to make something happen in order to be able to win the round. So the player that is at the life deficit is going to be essentially going to be taking like more risks. They're going to be looking for more chances to Abare. Like, I'll let you know right now, straight up, Abaring is essentially disrespecting your opponent's advantage. Like, that's basically what Abare is. I know you DP mashing players from other games. I'm pretty sure you're pretty familiar with like what Abare is. But yeah, so that's one thing to keep in mind though. If you have the life lead, is be careful of players that are trying to, you're going to be trying to Abare you. And another thing also is for players that like to use 12 frame throws a lot or anything like that, I'll let you know that in Dead or Alive 6, if you end up using if you end up mis-throwing, so you don't end up connecting your throw or anything, and the opponent strikes you, and the opponent ends up striking you, then high counter strike damage is really dangerous in Dead or Alive 6. And of course, the ultimate Abare move, the 7K, the minus 30 on block, ultimate high risk, high reward DP, the 7K. 12 frames of disrespected goodness will beat out almost anything. Great low crush, even probably has slight high crush properties, but because it's 12 frames, it just beats out anything really well. So if you really want to get under your opponent's skin, hit them with this a few times. But yes, if you do get blocked in the opponent can basically just punish you with like whatever the hell they want. Alright guys, that's it for now. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, so that means leaving a very lovely comment down below. You can also contact Force of Nature on freestepdodge.com, and be sure to check out my other top tier tips, advanced guides, and character guides, because as you can guess, as more of these come out, you get a greater and greater understanding of this incredibly complex game that is Dead or Alive 6. And if you'd like to support this channel, feel free to join Top Tier Fighters. The support does help, and I do appreciate it. Anyways, this is Force Nature signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on Top Tier Tips.